Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me.
Thank you.
Huge congrats on this movie.
Thank you.
As an absolute die-hard rom-com fan, I had so much fun with it. And it does feel a bit kind of old school in the way that, it's just got all the beats you want from a rom-com, but it's also so fiercely original. I mean, when you read that script, what really jumped out to you?
Immediately what jumped out is just that essential idea of a woman choosing between her first great love and her last great love. It just felt like such a incredible idea, and something that you're kind of surprised hadn't been done before. And it was that dilemma was what attracted me. And then the idea of being able to create this big world around that was kind of my dream come true. So yeah, it was just that essential idea.
And in terms of it fitting in with that rom-com genre, what were some of the films perhaps you watched which had sort of seeped into your sort of creative duties? I know, from The Apartment to the Powell and Pressburger type films, both, having those hilarious moments, but also that emotional depth that's really there in this movie.
I mean, like you, I'm a huge rom-com fan, so I had so many things I pulled from them, but even just James L. Brooks and Broadcast News and Philadelphia Story and all those great love triangle films of the past. And I think what I love about them is again, just they're not afraid to be incredibly funny and incredibly moving. They don't hold back with any of the big emotions. And I was really excited to kind of just really push that in Eternity to make sure that we're making the audience kind of properly belly laugh and properly cry, which I don't think we see enough of now in cinema.
It's just visually spectacular. And I think what I love about it is, I guess normally when we're thinking of the afterlife, perhaps we're thinking, those pearly gates, something more abstract and celestial. This is something so tangible, and I can feel like you've just let your imagination run wild. This kind of like conference type expo, this sort of the junction, the railway station, and also the fact that people aren't sort of being that gentle and nice, but like, come on, you need to make your decision. Did you have so much fun inventing this world?
It was incredible. I kind of feel like I've been slowly building my idea of an eternity for 30 years. I mean, it's kind of pulling from all my favorite things, from my favorite architecture to my favorite films. And we wanted it to feel chaotic. We wanted it to feel like a reflection of the world we're living in, which is, consumerist, and it's all being sold and screamed at and slightly unpleasant in many ways. And I think there's also a really lovely comfort in that. You go to this place and it's quite familiar, and I think that's quite nice in some ways. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to create and to work with my designers, Zizou, in just building this and figuring out how this bureaucratic space actually works as a train station, as a hotel, / tourism expo. How it actually functions was really fun and exciting, just to work out the minutiae of all that. So yeah, it was extraordinary.
It's so meticulously put together as well. And did you have a part that was most difficult to put together, or one you were most proud of? And all the detail you see in the background. These disused worlds, and like the people selling in the background. I don't know. It's so well done.
Thank you. We had the whole thing was a real joy. I think building that big junction space, just figuring out the design that would work, the design we could afford, and creating the space we had that still felt large in scope. I think getting that right was a huge thing for us. I think my favorite set, though, is the archive tunnel, where you revisit the memories and just having those abstract painted backgrounds of a memory. I think that was just felt really beautiful when we were there and shooting it, and I think a lovely way of kind of for our characters to revisit their past. So I think that was probably my favorite set of all.
And what an incredible cast you put together. I mean, all 5 of them, the chemistry is just electric. I guess at the centre of it, with Miles and Elizabeth. And I kind of thought maybe they're not 2 actors maybe we would associate with this kind of film.
Yeah.
And maybe just not expecting them to be quite so funny. And also playing this really well sort of lived-in relationship. We have to believe, although they look young, that they've been together 60 years. They're in their 90s. They're used to everything creaking a bit. They do it so well.
They really relished being old. I think they love that. They love the physical comedy of it all, which was incredible. But it's that thing, I'm really excited to see actors do something you don't necessarily expect. And I think we all knew they were funny. Once I met them, I knew they were hilarious. But it was really fun to just see them push that as far as they could and really relish these roles. And I think like I think Miles is is like could be Tom Hanks. I think he's got that in him, and it's exciting to see that. And I think Lizzie's like the modern Shirley MacLaine. She can do anything. So I'm really excited for audiences to see them in a different light and see them be this funny and this moving. And yeah, they're just a gift to work with.
And of course, Callum and also John and Divine, I think some of the moments with Miles and Divine, they're so brilliant. I'm always like, are they improvising here? Because they're just bouncing off each other so seamlessly.
What was really amazing is getting to work with them is they're so brilliant. I end up just writing for them during production. So I would come in the mornings with new lines for them and just seeing that play. And then at the end of every scene, they would throw in something that's hilarious. And a few of those brilliant ad-libs are in the film. But yeah, they really played off each other really well, and just working with them and rehearsing with them, they really inspired me to write new scenes. Like there's a great scene in the film where Miles helps Lizzie squat for the first time, and that just came from a conversation with Miles talking about how much Larry loves Joan and wants to make her happy, and I was like, squatting will make her happy. So they really inspired me, and it was lovely to just keep the script open and respond to them in pre-production and production, and that was a gift for me as a director. They're brilliant. I think the hardest thing in this is the stuff we had to leave on the cutting room floor because they were making the film too long, but just hilarious bits, hilarious kind of buttons and scenes.
When you come out the cinema, I think you're just so full of emotions and so many things running through your mind. And I think one of the great things at the central conceit of the film is there isn't one perfect kind of love. And we will all experience different kinds. Yeah. And actually to embrace all of those and perhaps, not idealize it in a way that other rom-coms might push you to.
I mean, I think that's lovely. I think for me, there's you can have more than one great love in your life, and I think Joan has had two great loves, and it's lovely to celebrate all the different forms of love. And I think that's what we wanted to do with this film, but also just, for us, we all reflected on our own lives and what makes us happy in making this film, and our parents and our grandparents. And I love the idea that maybe an audience will come out of the film and just, maybe realize they need to be nicer to their spouse or their partner or whatever that is, or dump them and go for their first boyfriend. Whatever they want to do is fine by me. But yeah, exactly. If they look like Callum. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a film that hopefully celebrates love in its many forms.
And super quick, which was one of those eternities your favourite one? Was it the junction room? Was it the movie?
There's so many I love, but I'd love to go to Weimar Germany without the Nazis. I think that would be genius. Yeah.
Brilliant, like in that show Cabaret, which is so much fun.
Cabaret without the Nazis. Perfect.
Thank you so much for sharing it with me. Huge congrats on this movie, and I cannot wait for everyone else to see it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.